I've lost track of how many times I've seen ads for Raid Shadow Legends. Dramatic voiceovers, over-the-top visuals, heroes slicing through armies like butter. It's followed me across YouTube, Discord, Instagram, basically everywhere. And for the longest time, I brushed it off. It looked like another overproduced gacha trap. Cool effects hiding a shallow game with nothing really worth sticking around for. The kind of thing you download, poke around in for like 10 minutes, and then forget by the weekend. But one night, I finally gave in. Downloaded it just to prove to myself that it was all bark and no bite, except it wasn't. I kept playing. 2 weeks later, I'm still logging in. So if you've been skeptical like I was, here's my honest breakdown of what Raid actually delivers, what it doesn't, and whether it's worth your time. Raid is a free-to-play turn-based RPG set in a dark fantasy world. You're resurrected by a cosmic overseer called the Arbiter to stop the forces of evil from swallowing everything. It's a standard premise, but it's pulled off better than I'd expect. There are over 700 champions, everything from armored demons and desert assassins to skeletons riding undead rhinos. It's part dark fantasy, part heavy metal album cover. One of the first I pulled looked like this lava gladiator leaking fire from his armor, and instead of just feeling cheesy, it somehow hit just right. The visuals are surprisingly solid, attacks have punch, animations are crisp. You expect a mobile port with recycled assets, but what you get is a turn-based strategy game with real mechanical depth. You start by picking a champion and running through a short tutorial, combat, summoning, gear upgrades. Then it hands you the reins. I started out just slapping together whatever looked cool, but 3 days later, I was reading Reddit threads about turn meter control, speed tuning, and debuff energy. If that sounds like jargon, yeah, it kinda is. Speed tuning, by the way, just for example, it's adjusting your team's speed stats so they act in a precise order. That's the kind of micromanagement you end up caring about without really even realizing it. You'll spend most of your time in 3 places: campaign, dungeons, and PvP. The campaign is the main story mode. 12 regions, all fully voiced. It's not winning any awards for writing, but the art direction is sharp and you get a steady flow of loot, XP, and champions. Even if you skip every cutscene, it's worth clearing early for the resources. Dungeons are really where things get strategic though. Each one gives you a specific type of resource: gear, potions, mastery tools, and each boss has a unique mechanic that punishes lazy setups. The fire boss, for example, pulls up a multi-hit shield you cannot break through unless your team is built for it. The spider dungeon throws a giant boss surrounded by spiderlings at you, and you'll need crowd control and damage over time effects just to survive. It's not about raw power here, it's about building the right counters. Then there's the PvP in the arena. Classic, tag team, and now live arena for real-time matches. If you want sweaty, this is sweaty. But if you're here just for PvE, you can still progress without ever touching PvP. The game doesn't gate your progression behind it. One thing I appreciated here is that Raid does not dump everything at you at once. New systems like artifacts, masteries, clan bosses, Doom Tower, they unlock gradually. It gives you breathing room to get good before throwing you into the deep end. If you've been curious, I left a download link below. It's totally free, it took about 5 minutes to install, and didn't hit me with any random launchers or browser tabs, just straight into the game. Now, let's talk monetization because it is a gacha game, and that does come with the territory. You summon champions with shards. You'll see bundles, XP boosts, pop-ups, and event offers, the full menu. I played for over a week without spending anything and still cleared meaningful content. Daily login rewards, free events, and some genuinely useful early game champions helped me carry further than I'd expect. Eventually, I did grab the Raid card. It's $10 a month for more daily rewards and energy refills. It wasn't necessary, but I played enough that it just makes sense. Just note it does auto-renew, so cancel if you don't want recurring charges. So is it pay to win? I mean, a little. Paying there gets you faster. But the game doesn't lock your content behind a paywall. You'll just hit grind walls sooner. And if you like pushing against limits and squeezing the most of what you already got, free-to-play can be just as satisfying. Now, combat is where Raid shines. You cannot just stack your 5 strongest champs and hit auto. There's turn order, buff-debuff strategy, counter building. Dungeon bosses will flatten your team if you walk in with the wrong setup, and PvP is brutal if your comp isn't tight. There's a ton of content here: Doom Towers, faction wars, Hydra clan boss, live arena. If you're part of a clan, daily battles like clan boss offer even more rewards and team building goals. And since energy caps how much you can grind each session, it forces you to plan around what you actually need to farm. Performance-wise, I didn't run into any lag, crashes, janky menus. It just runs smoothly and looks clean. You're never going to guess this thing started as a mobile-first title. Still, there are obviously some issues. The monetization can get a little bit in your face. Every time you back out of a menu, a limited time offer pops up. It doesn't break the game, but it may pull you out of the experience a little bit when you're mid-run. And some systems are poorly explained. Affinity matchups, gear rolls, speed tuning, it's all buried in menus with no real in-game guidance. If you're not on YouTube or Discord, you're gonna miss a lot here. Even the auto battle system, which is helpful, won't carry you through the tougher content unless you know exactly what your team is doing. And yeah, power creep is real here. New champions come in stronger than old ones, which makes older guides unreliable pretty quickly. Still, when you finally crack that boss you've been stuck on for days, or pull a legendary champ that fits your comp perfectly, it is incredibly satisfying. If you played Call of Dragons, here's how the two stack up. Call of Dragons is a macro strategy game. Build cities, join alliances, command armies across a shared world. Raid is the opposite. It's micro-focused. You fine-tune stats, craft teams, and grind challenges one fight at a time. Both are free to play and offer long-term progression, but they scratch different itches. Call of Dragons feels like managing an empire. Raid feels like managing a war room. You could say Raid is chess where Call of Dragons is Risk. If you prefer large-scale co-op and real-time multiplayer, go Call of Dragons. But if you want tight strategy, personal teams, and moment-to-moment decision-making, Raid wins out. I expected Raid Shadow Legends to be a shiny mess. Flashy ads, no substance, probably dead by mid-game, but it's not. It's smart, it's deep, and it rewards players who like problem-solving and optimizing without handholding. The grind is real, and the difficulty ramps up fast, but that's exactly what made it interesting to me. The link is down below if you want to give it a shot. It's free, it runs smooth, and you'll know pretty quickly if it's your kind of game. If you've already played, drop a comment below with your best pull or the team that's really carrying your run. I'd love to see what's working for you. If this helped, hit that like button, subscribe for more reviews, and I'll catch you in the next one.